introduce you to Special Agent Robert Wright. And I want to also introduce you to our co-counsel, David Schippers, who has been instrumental and a true American hero in his own right in bringing, no pun intended, Special Agent Wright to the attention of the American people. David Schippers has some comments. He's in his office in Chicago, Illinois. I turn you over to Dave Schippers and then Bob Wright.
Good morning, everybody. I'm
Dave?
not going to take much time, but I had not seen that letter that Larry just read because I've been out of town. I just got back last night, and I talked to Larry, and he told me about the letter and about the same threats that we've been getting from day one. This young man, Robert Wright, is, in my opinion, a great American because he's had the courage to come forward. We have dotted every I and crossed every T. We've done everything that the FBI requires before an individual comes out and talks publicly. At every stage, we've been completely dismissed. We've been dismissed by the Congress. We've been dismissed by the Attorney General. We've been dismissed by the FBI. Indeed, we've been threatened by the FBI and by the Attorney General's office. At one point, when Mr. Wright was going to talk to a representative of the Congress, he was told that both he and his lawyer could find themselves in great difficulty if he made one wrong statement. This is the type of thing, and this is the way the FBI over the years has kept people from any kind of criticism. Now, you will note at the end of that letter, we were told that there are appropriate people that we can go to with our complaint. What was it? Bob can tell you. I think it was 6 or 8 months ago. Bob, before 9/11, Bob filed a formal complaint with the Inspector General's office against the FBI and against the manner in which they were conducting or not conducting their anti-terrorist activities. Very recently, within the last 2 weeks, I finally received acknowledgement from the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General, the individuals charged by statute and by executive order with investigating any complaints by FBI or other whistleblowers within the department. I was told that the Inspector General's office, quote, does not have the facilities to conduct an investigation of this scope. Therefore, we are going to send it over to the Joint Committee of the Congress, the Senate and House Joint Committee. Now, I don't know if they've sent it over there or not, but I haven't heard word one from the Senate or the House about Robert Wright and what he has. It seems to me that this is just the typical method. Throw it over to the Congress, tell the Congress that they can investigate, and then tell Agent Wright he's not allowed to divulge anything to the Congress. When I heard Director Mueller yesterday congratulate an agent for coming forward, I thought perhaps that maybe there is a new aura in the Bureau and maybe things are going to change. They may change in Mr. Mueller's mind, but the bureaucracy will never change. And by adding to that bureaucracy, all it does is give them more individuals that they can hide stuff with and places to place the blame. I'm going to let you talk to Bob. Bob, be very careful because you're in their crosshairs, as am I, again. And just don't go into any specifics, any particulars about any case, even though you and I both know that there is no case. But they claim there is, so we'll follow their guidelines, the same guidelines that put 3,000 people on the street dead in New York. Go ahead.
Let me add, Dave, before we get into that despite the fact that Bob is being prevented from speaking, specifically, just like Agent Raleigh has been praised for doing. Look at Raleigh's letter. If you were to take the letter that we received yesterday evening from the FBI, and it had to have been reviewed by the FBI director at this point because they knew Bob was out there, if you had taken this letter and juxtaposed it with Raleigh's letter, Raleigh would likely be criminally prosecuted. She'd be away for life. You can see the hypocrisy in what they're saying. And the double hypocrisy is that when Bob started to try to get his story out through the New York Times, a reporter by the name of Judith Miller, a Pulitzer Prize award-winning reporter, I might add, one of the top reporters on terrorism, is that the FBI flew people in to meet with her and gave her whatever information, of course, in a twisted way, that she desired. But yet Bob was not allowed to talk with her. And that's why ultimately one of the reasons she didn't write the story. So you can see the hypocrisy here, and what Director Mueller said yesterday, it was just words.
And of course, as a consequence, they're in the crosshairs. Go ahead, Bob.
And we have some corroboration here today that we're going to provide.